Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in to today's video. I am catching up in my journal today. I've literally just done the last 4 days, or 3 days, and then today, which makes it 4 spreads in total. But I did 2 spreads, so 4 pages per Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So essentially they're 2 spreads each. So I had a lot of catching up to do today, but I've managed to get it all done. And I'm back on track, which is good news for me. So I really hope you all had a great Christmas and you managed to see some family friends, got some nice gifts, just celebrated, even if it's in a small way, just to be able to celebrate this year was just, you know, a gift in itself, wasn't it? Let's be honest. So yeah, we had a great Christmas and I had fully intended to sit down and do my journaling every day as normal. But honestly, I just didn't. There's just not even a reason for it. I just didn't do it. So it was nice just to have a few days to kind of relax, recoup, you know, just literally do nothing. Well, I say do nothing. With 2 kids over here, I definitely didn't do nothing at any point. But, you know, not do any journaling, not have to be creative. As much as I love being creative, sometimes your mind just needs a bit of a rest. So anyway, I'm starting off. I've done a few bits. I can't remember what I've done. But I've got this thank you Santa actually came in the letter writing set. So my son did a letter to Santa, and in the set there was also this thank you Santa. So I guess he could leave that out for Santa to take on Christmas Eve. But I stole it and I put it into my journal, and I think it's just perfect for the Boxing Day spread. So I'm not working through this today in any order. I had a few ideas in mind that I wanted to get done, so I was planning on doing those and then working from there. So I did my typewriter text or journaling on that Thank You Santa page, just documenting Boxing Day and, you know, we made it through Christmas 2020. And yeah, just describing my Boxing Day dinner. So I thought I was going to have some tags and photos, loads of little trinkety bits, little ephemera bits I should say, that I'll probably want to stick into that wallet, but I just don't. I don't have a load of gift tags. I've kept the one that my mum gave me. A lot of the bits got thrown out. My sister used stickers on the wrapping paper, so I didn't keep those because they got all crumpled. You know, I just really didn't have a lot to keep this year. So I just taken that little plastic wallet bit off. I trimmed the page down, re-rounded the corners, and it looks absolutely fine. This photo is my Boxing Day dinner, and I did the text straight onto it on the computer. And I'll make a big Yorkshire pudding, and I put all the leftover, and I made carrots as well because I didn't have any left. And I put like the leftover turkey and a couple of roast potatoes in the Yorkshire pudding with some gravy, and I even finished off the last of the Prosecco from Christmas dinner. So I had like a little Christmas dinner round 2, which is always as good as Christmas dinner itself. And I popped some washi at the top there, and I tore this washi so it literally says Merry Christmas, and it almost looks like that's kind of what's holding it onto the page. And that's a really simple spread for Boxing Day, but I really like it. It's how I imagined it. So I'm going to use some more of these letters up because I've just got them floating about. They need using, and I'm going to write yum, but I don't have an M, so I'm using a W upside down, which you could definitely, it's alright, it'll do. And then obviously I'm going to add my number for the day, number 26, and that's my Boxing Day spread done. That was the easiest one out of all of them. There was a lot of flipping, so there's a lot of footage cut out here, but a lot of the footage in between is me flipping back and forth trying to decide what I'm going to work on next. And then there was one point that my camera did cut out and I didn't realise. I'll try and remember to kind of say this is where that happened when we get to it. So I had this pocket here already that I'd stuck in ages ago, and this little journaling card, and I've got this is Christmas Eve. And I've got a photo of all the presents laid out on the sofa, the dog looking at me like, where am I going to lay now? He was not impressed. And a picture of their stockings each hanging on their doors full of all their goodies as well. And what I did to make a little label is this says Santa's Bean. I did this on my typewriter and I just cut it out with the scissors and stuck it on. And this is obviously Christmas Eve because I lay everything out, or Santa lays everything out on Christmas Eve. So that's just going in that pocket. I'm going to start here. I did struggle with these pages, I think, because not a lot really went on this year. I mean, Christmas Eve we were supposed to meet my sisters, and we were going to do our Christmas Eve sacks together like we usually do, and we're going to have lunch. You know, there was going to be a lot more going on, but none of that happened because of the restrictions and things. So I had to kind of spread out journaling, which could have probably just gone on 2 pages actually. So but I did all right. It came together and it looks good. So I'm happy with what it looks like. This is Christmas Day. And the photo here is actually the kids on Christmas Eve. Now this is them in their new pyjamas they got in their Christmas Eve sack, but it just looked nice here, so I've just stuck it here, and I'm going to use that label. I'm going to run it through my typewriter. I won't bash the camera while I'm at it. Yeah, I'm going to run it through my typewriter. So to do that, as I've done before, I just wash it onto a bigger piece of paper, and then it goes to the typewriter perfectly fine. On the left-hand side as well, I think I did this right at the beginning when I was just doing my little hello intro. That is a cut file that I did on my Cricut machine, and it's just like an iPhone frame, and I printed a screenshot of my phone, and it's the WhatsApp of, like, we've got like a family chat group, and it's everyone saying Merry Christmas to everyone else. And there's actually, I didn't journal about it, I need to go back and redo something. See, this is just, it was such a haphazard journaling session because I was just doing so much. On that WhatsApp group, me and the kids sang We Wish You a Merry Christmas, We Wish You a Merry Christmas. We did like the first verse. And then a bit further down, my sister and her partner and my nephew sang the next verse. And it was really funny, just, you know, the way it's just really random it came about. So I need to go back in and add a little label to say, because you can see the 2 voice messages on the screenshot. And I just want to explain what they are. So yeah, I just cut I did the picture, the image, and then I left the paper, and you saw me at the beginning stick the frame on, and I cut around the frame so it fit into there perfectly. Last year I stuck the frame in first, and then it was such a faff trying to get it to size perfectly and fit inside that frame. Yeah, I learned my lesson. This is my cracker hat from Christmas dinner. I didn't really want to use the orange one. I kept a few of all the different, well, one of each of the colours that came in the cracker, thinking I might use like a red one or a green one. But I went with the orange because that's the one I had, and that is the one I wore when we were eating Christmas dinner, and you can see in the photo that's the hat I've got on. So I wanted to stick that one in and just be true to the moment, true to the day, and just, like I say, use the orange one because that is the actual one that I had. I'm just sticking it across the 2 pages, and I obviously, where the hat is already folded, it allowed me to just really get it into that crease nicely. So, what did you all get up to then? As I said, I hope you all had a good one. It'd be interesting to know what everyone got up to on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. I had my parents over on Christmas Day for dinner, which was nice. This is a photo of us all sitting at the dinner table, and that's my joke for my cracker. And yeah, it was just nice to have them over here and be able to kind of just get together and just be relaxed and be a bit normal for the day. Dinner was good. I put the turkey in overnight on Christmas Eve, so we woke up and it just smelled divine. And we just made a day of it really. They stayed over for about 3 hours. Mum helped me out with a bit of dinner. Dad played with the kids because he's just one of them. My son was showing him his new Xbox, and yeah, Phoebe was trying on all her clothes, doing her makeup. I think she washed her face and did her makeup about 4 times. So 13-year-olds do, right? Yeah, and it was a nice day. We took the dog out in the evening, just before it got dark, my mum and me. So it's nice to get some fresh air on the day as well. And in the evening we just chilled, we just watched videos and videos. God, we watched a movie. My son and I, my daughter was upstairs, FaceTime all her mates and whatever it is that she does up there. And Finn and I just sat and watched a film. And then before I even realised it, the film finished and we watched Jumanji, the second one, which he thinks is hilarious, when the girl turns into Jack Black and he kind of like has his moment of just coming to terms with the fact that he's now in this body. It's just really funny. It made me watch it back, rewind it and watch it again because he thought it was really funny. Yeah, so we just like, this is why I don't end up doing my journaling, because time just ran away. I don't even know what day of the week we're on now. It's Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, like the day of the week, the actual Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It doesn't matter. Like, you just forget all of that. It's either Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and then when you get after Boxing Day, you've got to kind of like throw yourself back into the real world. So yeah, it's Sunday today. This tag, my son actually brought home from school, and it says on it about jingling the bells. It's like a global thing where at 6 p.m, obviously wherever you are, you ring the bells, and it's to spread Christmas cheer and help Santa's sleigh fly, which is really nice. We set a reminder on Alexa, and we went out in the garden and we could hear the bells jingling, and we jingled our bells for a minute or so. So I've added it in here. I've adjusted it obviously to make it fit my journal, so I've left the bells hanging out, but I fabric tacked them down on the inside underneath so they'll stay, and they'll just be really secure on there. So obviously as I turn the page, they'll jingle and jangle. And I'm going to use my red stickers. I think I used the It's Christmas one, I'm pretty sure that's one I used. Have a wonderful Christmas, that's the one I used, there we go. And I'm going to add a bit of washi on the right hand side of that label as well, just to give it something. So I did a little bit of faffing with this page, or quite a bit of faffing with this page, so I cut all that out. And that's my son's arm. He's coming to borrow the glue to stick some googly eyes on a rock he found outside. Anyway, so I did this pile of presents because I thought that was rather fitting with this page. Obviously Santa's leaving all his presents on Christmas Eve for the children in the morning. And it just goes nicely, I think, with this photo, which is my son with the milk and cookies that we left for Santa. And I just did a little label as well saying milk and cookies for Santa, and I did that through the typewriter. This was right before they kind of laid their sacks out. My daughter was too busy, I don't know what she was doing actually. My son had already done this by the time I even got in the kitchen. I was about waiting for Phoebe as well. But then they went on to lay their sacks on the sofa. So they have these big plush red sacks that they've had forever, and I've had them embroidered, so they've got their names on, and they're red, and they've got like the white fur trim at the top, so they just look really like Santa-y, like Christmassy. And the idea is that on the very first Christmas, this is the way I kind of visualise it, and it'd be interesting to hear kind of the things that you do that are like your little quirks. I visualise it so on a child's first ever Christmas, when after they've been born, they are left a sack full of presents. So this big plush red sack is a sack full of presents, and obviously they've got their own name on because it's their sack, and they left it. And then the idea is that every Christmas thereafter, we lay the sack out on the sofa and Santa fills it up with all their toys. So I remember years ago, there's 6 years between my two children, so obviously 6 years apart. Phoebe had this sack since I think maybe like her third or fourth Christmas, third perhaps. It was quite early on, like she doesn't remember getting it. She doesn't remember like a Christmas where she just didn't have it. Does that make sense? So because she knew the story that we leave it out for Santa every year because he left it on their first Christmas. And just quickly, this little journaling card that I did, I stuck the photos of them when they're opening their bits from their Christmas Eve sack on the back of it. And the journaling is just really all the journaling for Christmas Eve. And it's on a vintage address card that goes in, like, on the little, I don't know how to describe it, the little address books, but they were like, you slide the thing up and down to the letter and then you press it and it opens up at that letter. I don't know, there's probably an actual name for it, but that's what it came from. And this little Santa strip is from the stocking that my son was making at school. So I've just stuck that in as well because it just needs a bit of green, a bit of shine. So yeah, so obviously on Finn's first Christmas then, I had to find one of these big plush red sacks and have his name embroidered on it. And it had to be the same as hers because obviously it came from the North Pole. And Santa was going to leave it for his first Christmas. So yeah, that's the little story behind leaving the sacks out. And it's the little things like that I'll write down. I'm going to do, today's spread is all about Christmas traditions and memories. So, but then my Christmas traditions and memories I kind of remember from my childhood. And I think I'm going to do another page because not really a lot Christmas-wise obviously happens between now and New Year. So I've got a few spreads I'm going to need to fill up. So what I think I'm going to do is another spread on traditions, but our like modern day traditions, so documenting things like why we have the big red sacks and why we'd put them on the sofa on Christmas Eve, you know, how that came about. So the kids can kind of look back on that when they're older, because I think that'll be interesting for them. So this is where my camera cut out, and I cut this Santa out, and I stuck my numbers of the day, and I made this pocket out of vellum. I just printed it on the front of an A4 sheet, so I did half of it with the image, and I just left the back blank. And I just sewed it down the sides to create the pocket, and I've just tucked all my photos in there. And I'm just going to stick this picture of some eggnog that I made on Christmas Eve down in the corner here. Again, that's all been documented on that journaling card that I've got in that little tuck spot. And I'm going to have this picture of the kids just at the top left, and then I'm going to stick on the stockings, just because obviously Christmas Eve we leave our stockings out as well. Yes, this Santa is out of the Little Golden book, the Night Before Christmas book, and I just fussy cut round it, and I stuck my 24 on, and 24 and 25 I've done in big gold, I'm doing gold glitter cardstock, and they're bigger, just to kind of like earmark them, and they're obviously the most important days of Christmas, so I didn't want just the red ones that I've had all the way through. I wanted them to be a little bit different, so I did them in gold and I did them bigger, and they do kind of get lost on this page when you're looking at it on camera, but in real life they do stand out. So I've added that Merry Christmas sticker on there as well, and I'm going to add some glittery red washi because we just can't fail with a bit of glitter, and it'll stop that side coming up as well. And you always have to glue glitter washi down, you can't ever just stick it on, it doesn't work like that. So these are those stockings. And I've done 3 because it's obviously me and the kids, so we've kind of got a stocking each just hanging up there in the corner, and I've stuck those down with fabric tack to make sure they're well stuck onto that page. So here you can see earlier that I pulled out that little blue journaling card, and I've just sewn around it to create a pocket, and I've stuck it down on that page and popped the photos inside. This journaling is from today, so this is my traditions that I was talking about earlier, and I just typed it out and I popped it in this envelope. My daughter's Christmas card from my grandma came in this envelope, and it's just a really nice one, so I kept it and I've stuck it in. On the right hand side, that journaling is just about the photos, and I wrote on there that I love looking at photos, not just because I like seeing like us, like the people, like me, my sister, my parents, whoever. I like to look in the background of the photo and remember the house and how the decor was back in the day, like in the 80s, 90s, you know, what the house looked like, the wallpaper that we had, and just that triggers memories, doesn't it? And you can kind of then take yourself back to that place and think, oh my gosh, yeah, I remember when we had that brown door, you know, before we had the glass one put in. And I just like looking at the photos for that reason as well. So I just documented that here, which is aside from, originally I was going to do my journaling, how I've done that writing on this right hand page, but I had so much to write that it filled an A5 page, and then obviously by the time I've cut it out and left a little space in between, I'd never fit it all on. And I've added these photos here as a flap, so I've got one on top of the other, and it's just a couple of photos of my sister and I one Christmas with all of our toys, and I've just added some washi to cover up that sort of white strip at the top as a sneak peek at tomorrow's spread. So that is that spread done, apart from the number. That Santa I stuck on there ages ago, that's a printable, so I just blew it up to size. And the way I size things as well, if anyone's interested, the way I size things is to go into Word, and I will change my document size to A5, and then I can visualise the size that it's going to be on the page. And then obviously, like a Santa like that, I can then just fill the A5 page, and then I switch it back to A4, because I like to fill a whole sheet and print out loads of different images. And I'll just go back to A4, and then obviously the photo is the size that I need it for the A5 sheet, but now it's on an A4 page. I hope that makes sense. And then it allows me then to fill the rest of the page in with loads of other images. So it's just an easy way to fill up a page. Or if you're printing like a big doily or something, I like to do 2 per page. So I'll do it to A5 size, do the one, then I can just, you know, duplicate them or add more. Then I know they're going to fit onto my page when I'm doing my journal. So this page here underneath this flap, this is Christmas Day. I wanted to add in some photos. These photos are the kids opening their presents, their stockings and their presents when they got downstairs. So I've done them double-sided, and what I'm going to do, I'm not filming the sewing because it was giving me a bit of grief. So I just kind of add a bit of glue to hold the photos together nicely, and what I'm going to do is pop them into this little plastic wallet, and I'm going to sew around the photos so it really kind of just sandwiches them into place. And you can see here that I've gone around it with the red stitching, and I'm going to just trim around it to make it nice and neat. So this December 25th journaling card I have from a printable set that I downloaded. So I printed that out a little while ago. It's been in my ephemera folder. So I'm just sticking this on the underside, and the photo of the children with their downstairs presents at the bottom I just trimmed to size, just eyeballing it against that bit. There were some lines on the bottom, so I could have done some writing, but I just didn't need to do any writing. So I've just stuck that photo on there, and then I'm going to do similar to what I did on today's spread, which is to have these photos as like a little lift up flap so you can see both sides of the images. And I'm going to use Fabri-Tac because it's shiny, and just to make sure it's really well stuck down, and I'm going to use this red sparkly washi at the top just to cover the top in like I did on the photos for today's spread. So I kept this tag. This is from my present from my parents, and I'm just going to stick this in. I'm going to use it on this little flap out bit because I knew I wanted to add something at the top here anyway, because I didn't like that it just kind of stops. It's a real blunt stop at the top there. I didn't size this very well when I was printing it. To be fair, I didn't print it to go on the page like this. So yeah, it didn't quite fit. If I was thinking about it when I was printing it, I would have done it to the size of the page. But anyway, I'm adding this at the top here so you can lift it up and see that it's my gift tag for my parents. It's obviously got my mum's writing on it, which is nice, and that completes the spread. So there are a few bits that I still need to do. I need to start journaling about the voice messages on that screenshot, and there's also where on the Christmas dinner spread, so where I've done the photo of us all at the Christmas dinner table on that right hand side, I've done a pocket, and I've done the menu on there. So I've written with my typewriter all the things that were on our dinner plates that we served up for Christmas dinner, and I've just tucked some photos into that pocket. Now I'll probably go in and create a journaling card for that, so they're not just floating about the pocket. And also this pocket here that I've just tucked back in, I'll most likely add some sort of journaling card to stick the photos into, as opposed to just leaving them loose in the pocket. But that'll be something that I'll do when I'm doing a bit more of a simpler spread this week, when there's not really a great deal happening, while everything now goes back to, I was about to say normal, but normal for us right now, when everything starts going back to, you know, we're going back to work and, you know, all that fun stuff. So yeah, not a great deal will be happening, and we're not really going to be trying to do anything overly festive now for the next few days, are we? Let's be honest. So a lot of this will be throwbacks and traditions, memories, that sort of thing, and it's a good space to document things like that. So if you are doing December Daily right up till New Year, maybe the last few spreads you can do like your Christmas playlists, and as I said, traditions, memories, etc. And you can do childhood ones like I've done today, and then another spread which I'm going to do of like modern day memories, so what you do with your children or your family now. So just to give you a few ideas if you're struggling like moi. So I hope you like that anyway. It's a little bit longer than the previous videos. That's obviously to make up for the last few days. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again tomorrow for the next spread. Take care, speak to you then. Merry Christmas.